You read the title correctly. Once again, I armed myself with over 200 Herba Mystica and made 100 shiny sandwiches in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. But this time, in the Teal Mask DLC. How many shinies would I get? How good was the average sandwich? How good was the best sandwich? Well, let's find out. First and foremost, I wanted to complete the DLC on both of the save files I'd be doing this on. And there won't be any spoilers here, don't worry. But just know that if you go to complete the story and you have the shiny charm, you're probably gonna find 3 random shiny Pokemon. Because that happened both times. That's a shiny Bonzi. What the are you kidding me? What the? Dude! What do I brother, man. Are you kidding me, bro? Are you freaking kidding me, bro? Oh my god, dude. After the story, I made sure to complete the Pokedex, for which I did a whole living dex of the new Pokemon, just like my last video, during which I found yet another shiny. Are you kidding me, bro? Between completing the DLC both times and the living dex, it took about 14 hours. With that complete though, we can finally play the real game, shiny hunting. Just like last time, we're doing 1 sandwich of each type to start our 100 sandwiches. We begin with a ghost type sandwich hunting in the Timeless Woods in the northeast of the map. This will let you hunt Mimikyu, which I still didn't have, and some Pokemon new to the DLC, Phantom and Trevenant at any time of day, with Litwick and Lampent spawning at nighttime. I bet you guys are all primed and ready for all this YouTube luck, this streamer luck that is about to happen. Surely I'm about to find 10 shinies on the first sandwich, right? Well, no, unfortunately, I did not find a single shiny on the first sandwich. And like last time, these sandwiches will again be hardcore, no saving in front of shinies, and no resetting the sandwich if you don't get any shinies on it. Gotta keep that Sigma male mindset. Part of the reason I didn't find any shinies on this first sandwich though is that Game Freak made shiny hunting in the DLC as annoying as possible. Exhibit A, this forest. There's not a single good picnic reset spot that's not obscured by a tree or bush in some way, which would have definitely been preferred, particularly while streaming so you can catch up on chat during the resetting. Exhibit B, Litwick. You would say that the flame's color change is decently obvious, right? But here's the thing, from far away, the flame is like 2 pixels, so you still have to zoom in to be able to tell most of the time. And as a proud nerdneck, i.e. has to make 100% sure every Pokemon spawned around me isn't shiny, this adds a lot of extra time onto the shiny hunting. And because of this nerdnecking, a lot of unnecessary time was added to the next hunt for jangmo-o. When you're a nerdneck, your brain wants to say, but the original still has yellow on it, so I gotta make sure. So I was going a little bit slow, but there's absolutely zero chance you're going to miss this thing when it spawns in, unless you're just not even looking at the screen. With jangmo-o captured, that's our first shiny of these 100 sandwiches, which also has pink in the shiny, just like the first shiny from our original video, Palmy. This shiny was named Mayday, one of my Twitch mods who absolutely loves pink shinies. More on that later. I hunted for a second jangmo-o with the rest of the sandwich, but didn't find anything. Time for sandwich 3, a normal type sandwich. I found a nice picnic reset spot by signboard 1, which gave me nothing but Sentrets during nighttime. There is a better spot for this hunt, but seeing as this is still only day 2 of the DLC to this point, all of the best shiny hunting locations weren't known just yet, which sadly means no Philly Bitsu videos to help me out. I missed you, Philly. I missed you. I stuck around for another one to evolve into Furret, but alas, my YouTube luck was not quite on point. Then with the 4th sandwich, I would hunt the one, the only, shiny Pooch. Except we can actually catch this one, but I'd gotten a little tired of this reset spot, so I would start walking around, which ended up making me search for a shiny Mightyena instead. I'd eventually find it, but again, that was all I was able to find on this sandwich. And this was the last sandwich of the day, ending with a shiny to sandwich ratio of 0.75. It's not terrible, but we'd like to get better. Surely it's going to get better, right? Right? Wowzers! It's the first full day of shiny hunting in the DLC. You might be wondering, how long did it take to get all of the Herba Mystica you needed for this? The answer? A long time. You know what doesn't take a long time? Liking the video. That's right, I'm doing this again. Also, make sure you're subscribed. It takes less than 2 seconds, it really helps me out, and you can always change your mind later. While a lot of the DLC hunts are pretty cursed, it did make the hunts for some Pokemon better, like Mimikyu. I'm willing to bet there's quite a few of you who've hunted for Mimikyu a few times, even with an outbreak in the lag tree thicket. But with every Mimikyu that stands under a tree looking shiny, it's definitely easy to say, screw this, I'm gonna get another Gardevoir for the waifu collection. Enter the mountain. I kinda have a love-hate relationship with the mountain texture here. On one hand, this color, especially in the sunlight, just kinda hurts to look at for extended periods of time. On the other hand, there are no trees, so I was actually able to see a real color change on this shiny Mimikyu. But let me tell you exactly why they chose this color for the mountain texture. Exhibit C, Slugma. Slugma. I'm convinced they wanted to make shiny Slugma as hard to find as possible, just for the sake of avoiding more Slugma jokes. And in certain lighting conditions, it's literally impossible to see against this texture. Case in point, I failed my first shiny Slugma. Let's see if you can spot it. This was all streamed on Twitch, by the way, and literally only one person in chat saw it. When that happens, I tell them to show me the clip because I usually just don't believe them, because surely more than one person would spot it. And even after they showed me the clip, I still didn't see it. It was only even on screen for a little over a second. Shout out Ramen has the eyes of a hawk. This shiny fail would have been far more tragic if I didn't finally start getting lucky on this sandwich, because only a few minutes later I would immediately spot the shiny in some better lighting, appropriately named Slugma Nuts. I almost failed another shiny here, but thankfully I had looked at the non-shiny directly next to it, appropriately named Mag Cargo D's. Real talk though, if they're trying to avoid Slugma Nuts jokes, then why are they level 69?
Nice.
So there were 3 shinies on the sandwich, just failing 1. With that, we've done Ghost, Dragon, Normal, Dark, Fairy, and Fire sandwiches. Continuing the one of every type, I moved to Ground type for the next sandwich. For everyone's favorite groundwater type, Wooper. This time, it's Jotonian. I was doing a picnic reset in the starting river, but I'd find a better place to do this hunt later. Even still, it only took a few minutes to find. And wouldn't you know, I got it to stay in a love ball. I stuck around to maybe find another one, but no luck there. Next up, I hunted the Pikachu you have at home, Morpeko. Better shiny than Pikachu's though, in my opinion, but I still wasn't able to find it, wasting that electric type sandwich. So I tried my luck with the fighting type sandwich. Timber is really easy to isolate near the 3rd signboard, and I actually used a Conkeldurr for my team in the first playthrough of the DLC, so I thought it was only fitting to be my first fighting type hunt. After finding the shiny, Milo got some treats for being a good boy. I looked for another one for a little bit, then was about to wander around trying to find Mienfoo. Instead, I found a green monkey. Like, why are the shinies I'm getting really lucky with only the ones that were already in the base game? I guess except for Slugma. Alright, we're done with that for a while. Case in point though, on the next rock type sandwich, just look at what happened. Alright, sandwich number 10 starts now. Random Rockruff before fast travel? Are you freaking kidding me? Ain't no way, dude, man, brother, man. This was actually pretty welcome though, because I didn't quite have the living dex for this line just yet. The real target of the sandwich though was Nosepass, who I would unfortunately not find, but I did at least find my favorite picnic reset spot for this area, in the middle of the divot on the right side here. Pretty easy to see everything that spawns in, and a really chill hunting location. I got a delivery for a future video in the meantime as well. Next up I made a grass type sandwich, and just kinda started wandering around looking for a good hunting location to do. There's this one platform north of the mountainside that'll spawn nothing but Lotads with the grass sandwich. I was able to find one pretty quickly, but sticking around for another once again yielded no luck. I'd end up finally getting lucky with another DLC Pokemon on a bug type sandwich. Just outside the town, I'd get a shiny Spinarak 1 minute into the sandwich, and then it took about 3 minutes to find the next one to complete the evolution line. If you're struggling to find yours though, you can actually isolate it near the river here, at least during this time of day. And while I got lucky with that, I still just wouldn't find anything else for the rest of the sandwich. So time for sandwich 13, flying type sandwich. I hunted Hoot Hoot and Noctowl until it turned daytime. Out in the open here because the Hoot Hoot cave wasn't quite widespread knowledge yet, then just wandered around the gorge, hoping for a Vullaby or a Ducklet, but I just didn't find anything. Seeing as it was daytime now, I was reminded of the daytime only spawn Ducklet. With the water type sandwich, I'd look for the discount Quaxley, but once it turned nighttime, I would turn to the river where I'd end up finding a shiny Poliwag, which is a really cursed Pokemon to hunt here, because pretty much every one of them that looks directly at you will look shiny, depending on the lighting. Turns out this one actually was shiny though. I don't exactly need it because I do have a ton of them from Pokemon Go. Nothing else on that sandwich. On the next sandwich, I went poison type, and I thought I got really lucky. So it's just darker purple, I think. Oh my god. Wait, what? This isn't shiny? How'd I get debated so hard? What? Even though we're not hunting in Area 0 anymore, we're still not safe from the crystal reflection trolls. Though remember, I did actually find a shiny one here during the DLC story. The real goal in coming up to the mountain here though was coughing. And here is Exhibit D of Game Freak just trying to make shiny hunting as annoying as possible in the DLC. Oh my god, explosion! No! Explosion and memento? I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. That is one risky shiny. Now, before you get mad about this Master Ball, remember, I'm not saving before the shinies here, and considering this thing has a 50% chance to kill itself if whatever ball I used failed, I think this is probably the best Pokemon to use a Master Ball on. You can alternatively build a Pokemon with the ability Damp, like Golduck, and teach it Taunt, so it can't do either of these things, but I didn't have such a Pokemon made just yet, and Coughing can also have Neutralizing Gas, which would mean it still would be able to use Explosion. While a Quick Ball would give me a really good chance at catching it, I'm pretty against shoving every shiny in a Quick Ball. I do somewhat want the ball to match, unless it's like my 5th one of them. I would look around for something else on this sandwich, but poison types are pretty hard to isolate from Spinarak. What's exceptionally easy to isolate though is Swinub. Going with an ice type sandwich, this is the only new ice type evolution line in the DLC, and I didn't even really need this either because of PLA. I even have a shiny Alpha Swinub, but in the interest of making a sandwich of every type, I went for it. Didn't take too long to find, but I would again only find one. There's also only one psychic type evolution line that's new with the DLC, and that's Chingling and Chimecho, which I actually don't have in PLA somehow, even though I've definitely looked for it. But for Scarlet and Violet, this shiny kinda sucks. It's a very small change on the tail from red to orange. They say size doesn't matter, but Exhibit E. A lot of the Pokemon in the DLC are really small, so it makes this hunt that much harder, and it takes a lot longer to check if each Pokemon is shiny. So alas, there was no shiny on this sandwich. And to end the day, as well as the one sandwich of every type, we'd have sandwich number 18, the Steel type sandwich. But here's the thing, there's no Steel types. Lucario, Earthworm, Bronzor, Bronzong, Pawniard, Bisharp, and King Gambit are all in the base game. And Probopass, the one Steel type that was added to the Kitakami Pokedex, doesn't spawn in the wild, so I just looked for Pawniard. I was hoping to find a better place to hunt for it than in the forest, and in doing so, I found a random shiny Oricorio. Ah yes, Oricorio, my favorite Steel type. This is our first unboosted shiny, and I won't be incorrect in saying that like the last video. But that wraps up day 2. 14 shinies on 14 sandwiches. To start off day 3, I wanted to get another Sentret to evolve into Furret. Watching this thing walk is mesmerizing, but I went back to my picnic reset spot here during the daytime, meaning Starly can also spawn, and I didn't even get to do a reset before finding a shiny. I did some roaming around after that until nighttime, where I'd come back and find my second shiny Sentret. And sadly, even with only 2 shinies on this sandwich, this is still tied for the best sandwich so far, as long as we don't count failing that Slugma. And now, I'd like to introduce you to Exhibit F of Game Freak making shiny hunting in the DLC Cursed. Phantump. With sandwich 20, we went for a ghost sandwich, and I would spot a shiny Phantump, but I immediately have to ask the question to myself, why is this shiny so much worse than previous games? For Gen 6, 7, and 8, it was almost a silverish white color, and now it's just a dulled out gray. I would have voted Phantump as one of the best shinies in the DLC, but this is unacceptable. Trevenant got a little more dull too, but it at least is still almost white, but between them, they're a different color now, and that just doesn't make any sense to me. Sorry, I just don't like this change. Wouldn't you know it though, I'd also find a Mimikyu in the forest on this sandwich as well. It was even under a tree, but I was still able to spot it. With the rest of the sandwich, I'd begin the hunt for the brand new Pokemon, Poltergeist, whose shiny is unfortunately pretty cursed. It goes from this black to a forest green. It looks kinda easy to tell from the picture, but again, if it's far away, it's more difficult than it would seem. It has a few interesting spawn mechanics as well. It doesn't spawn at dusk, and only spawns next to bamboo trees. But sadly, there isn't a large bamboo forest like in Paldea, so even with Encounter Power 3, you still tend to get some other Pokemon spawning. But of course, because it's a spin-off of Sinistea and Poltegeist, it has a 1 in 100 chance form, the Artisan form. This adds a stamp to the bottom of it, and that's it. I didn't find any shiny Poltergeist now, but we'll come back to it later. After some emotional support belly rubs for Milo, I decided to do a non-DLC shiny hunt for Applin. It was time to eat food, and I figured the Applin AFK strat would be more efficient than just stopping and eating for 15 minutes. It was a decent idea, but I didn't end up finding a shiny. For sandwich 22, I figured I would check out the Carbank outbreak that was on my map. Good idea. Only a minute after finding it, I found the shiny. Then I hunted for Cleffa until daytime, but no luck there. Once it turned daytime, it was again time to begin one of the most cursed hunts in the DLC. Cutie Fly, Exhibit G of anti-shiny hunting design. I wouldn't even say the shiny is bad, it turns from yellow to pink pretty obvious, if it weren't so damn small. Even with the Switch's built-in zoom-in feature, this hunt kinda sucks. You kinda have to see it from the side. If it's directly facing towards you or away from you, it's really hard to tell. Remember Mayday, the Twitch mod that I named the jangmo-o after? She loves pink shinies, so much that she was hunting for this before even beginning the DLC story. She looked for this for 16 sandwiches, finally gave up on that, and did Masuda hunting for it, getting it on egg number 269. Nice. But anyway, yeah, I kinda got it by the end of this sandwich. That doesn't look yellow at all. That's not yellow at all. That is not yellow at all. I'm sorry, Mayday. Appropriately named, Sorry May. By the way, if you want to maybe have a Pokemon named after you in a YouTube video, head to the Twitch, you got a pretty good chance there. Or comment what your favorite Pokemon are on this video. Sometimes I'll search the comments for a Pokemon's name to name something, and what I would name as another cursed DLC shiny hunt is Feebas. Feebas is historically one of the most annoying Pokemon to even encounter, and they kept that tradition going in Kitakami. Feebas will basically only spawn in this one cave underneath the crystal pool. It can spawn anywhere in this water section toward the bottom, but is a little more common in this back room. That way things from the regular cave spawn table don't show up. But what's even worse about this hunt is that you can't isolate it. There are barboach in this water as well, ruling out a water sandwich from isolating. I did try to reset for an outbreak of Feebas, but I didn't have any luck with that. I did 2 sandwiches here and didn't find anything on either one of them. But just after the second one had ended, I was demonstrating how I was hunting it to someone in chat who just got there. And this happened. And then pro thing I just found, if you climb on top of the wall, for whatever reason, it makes everything surface faster. So like, boom. Oh my god, are you kidding me? What the heck? Yo. If only that were Feebas. Imagine the pop-off. It would have definitely saved me some of the future pain in store. Putting that on hold for now, I decided to try the new method of hunting applin. There's a particular spot in the apple orchard that a dragon-type sandwich will only give you apple spawns. Sometimes you'll even get a family of them. Definitely still requires a lot of nerd necking to see all the tree spawns though. No shinies for now, both in-game and in this trading card pack. Next up I went for a bug-type sandwich. I looked for a bunch of random things on it, but nothing wanted to be shiny. So I went back to looking for nose pass with sandwich number 27, and it didn't take all that long to find this time. But yet again, I just don't get lucky enough to get another shiny on the sandwich. Rowlet started taking over my screen for a fire-type sandwich, and thankfully they didn't scare away the shiny Litwick that I would find on the sandwich. But it's time for Exhibit H, Memento, and Explosion, and Final Gambit. We talked about coughing earlier being the biggest offender here, having 2 of these moves. Most people are going to play the DLC having completed the base game first, though you can do it earlier than that. But do you know just how many Pokemon in the DLC have one of these moves in the wild after completing the game? 14 Pokemon that if they choose a particular move, they just die. Not exactly a problem when you can or just remember to save, but when you aren't allowed to save, this is terrifying. You've also got other scary ones like Munchlax with Metronome that can randomize into any one of these moves, Kricketune with Perish Song, Mienfoo with High Jump Kick, Duskull and Dusclops with Curse, or Basculin with 3 recoil moves and a self-confusing move, which nearly half of the Kitakami Pokedex has a recoil move. Why am I talking about this? Well, of course, Litwick has Memento. I did do the smart thing, grabbing a Sneasel from my boxes to use Taunt, that way it can't use Memento. But I didn't exactly know how to count Taunt turns, and I wanted to paralyze it, but Thunderwave being on Gallade instead, I had to switch into him, then Thunderwave, then Taunt wore off. And of course, the 12.5% chance scenario happened in the one turn I tried to switch back. It moves through Paralysis and uses Memento. And you know what the tragic piece of that is? I could have just taught Taunt to Gallade with a TM. But no, the shiny of one of my favorite Gen 5 Pokemon just kills itself right in front of me. This would be tragic for more reason than just one. One of those reasons being I didn't find any other shiny on that sandwich. In the mood to feel even more defeated, I'd go back to the Feebas hunt, finding another shiny Barboach instead. Then sandwich 30, I went to Ghost type, looking to reclaim the Litwick. But it's a Duscan nighttime only spawn, meaning other things can spawn during the daytime. That's a blue Yanma. I'll take it, man. I don't care. But after this Charmod shiny, the luck would dry up for the night. I'd go back to looking for Poltergeist after that, still no luck there. Then I made a grass sandwich for 31, dragon type for 32, and water type for 33. And on all of them, I didn't find a single shiny. This was a pretty deflating way to end the day. But rough streaks like this are pretty much inevitable when you're doing a large number of sandwiches. But if you thought today was rough, just you wait. I decided that day 4 was going to be the day of the Feebas. I was not going to stop until I had found a shiny one. It looked promising to start the day. I found 2 shiny Barboach very easily on the first sandwich, but after a full sandwich and another 15 minutes on the next one with no shinies, I figured it would be in my best interest to try resetting for an outbreak. Boy oh boy, did I enjoy this. The last 15 minutes of that sandwich, no Feebas outbreak. After resetting for this, I'm convinced that your outbreak RNG can just straight up break or something, because I didn't do anything to progress further until I got the Feebas outbreak. And doing so, it only took a casual 4 hours. Even if it's a 1% chance, it is statistically impossible for me to have not gotten it by now. That is how unlikely it is that I have not seen it so far. Oh my god, yes! Holy sh**. Oh my god! I know what you're thinking. Oh, you just gotta stand in the right spot and use a sandwich. It's pretty easy. But let me tell you, I tried everything. I tried on both save files. I reset my game. Encounter power, water sandwich, running while resetting. Both level 1 and level 3. Standing in like 10 different spots. As well as resetting for it without a sandwich at all. And it still took 4 hours to find. There were at least 6 people in my chat that started resetting for this outbreak and found it before me. Typically for them, taking about 50 to 60 resets. My guess is there might be something about certain days where Feebas outbreaks are more likely to spawn than others, but I was just doing the rewind by 1 minute method to reset things. But everyone that found something had some sort of different date from their previous date skipping endeavors. Mayday, who found one in 3 resets, was all the way in 2027. But with that nightmarish 4 hours behind me, I still had to actually do the outbreak and hunt the thing. And even though I finally got to the outbreak, I still got unlucky, because my outbreak was in the wrong section of the cave. Meaning even with the outbreak and water encounter 3, I was still going to be getting some of the spawns taken up by Barboach or the land Pokemon. Sandwich 37, I clear the outbreak, and nothing. Sandwich 38, nothing. Sandwich 39, still nothing. The Rowlets on screen would be an accurate depiction of my mental status. It wasn't until Sandwich 40 that I would finally find it. Yes! 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 It's level 69 too! Yes! This is probably going to be my longest ever shiny hunt in Scarlet and Violet ever. Overall, this hunt took about 10 hours total just to find one. This hunt took so long, they even added the shiny noise back into the game. Shiny noise back in the game? True and real? Oh my god, it is! It is! Yes! Both are level 69. Nice! Let's go. Sadly, I'm just kidding. That's just the troll sound alert for when I play Legends Arceus. But after 10 hours of pain, at least I was able to get both of the shinies I would need for the living dex. So at least I wouldn't have to hunt this ever again. But I didn't want to be done just yet. After all that pain, I wanted more. So I went right back to it. Sandwich number 41, I got no more shinies. And sandwich number 42, I would only get 1 more. And figuring that 9 hours of pain in 1 day for this hunt was enough, I decided that 3 shiny Feebas was good enough for me. All of them were level 69, by the way. Like, Game Freak, you know what you're doing, right? I would make 2 more sandwiches before the end of the day. A ghost-type sandwich, on which I wouldn't find anything, and a grass-type sandwich, on which I would find shiny Sawaddle. This is also where I caught the cutie fly, and it's a really good picnic reset spot. You only need to check about 135 degrees of rotation for all of your spawns. So even somewhat difficult hunts like these are pretty easy to check. Caught the Sawaddle in a friend ball. So friendly. But that would be the end of the torturous day 4. Only getting 6 shinies on 11 sandwiches. Day 5 was a bit of an off day. I only got about half the hunting in because it was my dad's birthday. We had some pizza, went to the arcade, played some Pokemon Go. After some food when I got home, it was time for more sandwiches. But not before showing off my completely reasonable financial decision. Buying the EP Borb. Look at it, so EP. Going from EP to Angie, we searched for Mopico for sandwich 45. It does seem like it would be hard to spot, but it's pretty obvious when you see it. And when the Borb is EP, Hoodoo comes out to play, getting a shiny in the Hoodoo cave. And I don't have anything insightful careful to say about jangmo-o here, but I was able to get a second one with an outbreak. All of these coming at the end of their respective sandwiches. Then I made a ground-type sandwich and paid a visit to the Sandshrew Cave. After taking out the Terra Sandslash that's here, you can do picnic resets by standing in the left corner. With ground-type, you can do Sandshrew and Geodude, and with normal-type, you can do Sentret and Furret. A pretty chill hunt, getting me a Sandshrew and snagging it in a friend ball. On a side note here, a few days later, I was trying to direct another streamer, Evie, to this cave to help out with her shiny Sentret. She would struggle with getting one for hours after this still, but she found something pretty cool after getting here.
Whoa, what? Wait, what?
In case you didn't know, static Terra Pokemon are always full odds. Pretty cool. She named it after me, and now I have a Sandslash as an alter ego. Look at the way it spins. It's like Sanic. Anyway, back to my sandwiches. With sandwich 49, I'd make a water-type sandwich and Tide Rockruff for the fastest shiny in the challenge. Sandwich number 49, ready go. Whoop. Random whoop. Real quick. Random whoop real quick. Let's go! And I would find another one on that sandwich while searching for shiny Cramorant. After giving Milo some treats and Borbs invading my screen, I would do a Chingling outbreak, getting one by the end of the sandwich. And I'd go back to water type for the next one, grabbing the shiny Cramorant. With a water sandwich at nighttime here, it and Wooper will be the only things spawning in Felhorn Gorge. At least when you're hugging this wall. Then I did some picnic resets at the beginning river, finding a shiny Corfish. It has actually always been this shade of pinkish red, and I wasn't aware. With that, we wrapped up day 5, getting 50% more shinies in 50% of the time of day 4. And we're gonna need the good luck to continue. That's 51 sandwiches down and only 42 shinies. Not even close to a 1-to-1 ratio, and much worse at this point than in the original video. Granted, I didn't dedicate about 10% of all the sandwiches to one really difficult hunt the first time, but I'd go to sleep, hoping for some better luck over the next few days. Day 6, we started bright and early. With a ground-type sandwich, it was back to the Sandshrew Cave, getting one pretty quickly, leaving enough time to encounter a Geodude. I don't have a Breloom on this save file, but thankfully Geodude is one of the few Pokemon Amoonguss can outspeed, so no explosions today. Then I went back to the bus stop reset spot, getting another emotional sport Wooper. Quite emotionally supportive. Still here on Sandwich 53, I went for a shiny Poochyena. I looked for a Crawdont with the rest of the sandwich, but there were way too many Bombardiers here. I made another Dark-type sandwich after though, this time going for Nuzleaf, and I was able to find 2 of them in about 10 minutes. I'd look for Volibee with the rest of the sandwich, but this shiny kinda sucks, so it takes a while to check things. I would once again make a Ghost-type sandwich trying to get Litwick, but I would once again be disappointed. At least I found a Duskull though, which I don't really need because of PLA. Sandwich 56, and once again, we'd see me get lucky with a non-DLC Pokemon, Mankey. It's one of those Pokemon with Final Gambit. Between that and having several of them, it went in a quick ball. A few minutes later, I would find a Mienfoo, which is what I was actually looking for. Then very weirdly, my stream just ended for some reason. Everything on my OBS looked perfectly fine, as if nothing happened. It even said I was still streaming. But on the Twitch side of things, it showed that stream was over for everybody. Maybe it was an IRL Ghost of Annihilate, punishing me for putting Mankey in a quick ball. I reconnected and finished that sandwich, but nothing else. Up next, it was a normal type sandwich, and after a stop in the Hoodoo Cave, I was actually done with normal type DLC Pokemon. So I'd bravely face off against a Pokemon that I just outright refused to shiny hunt in the base game. Tandemaus. Now, it's not like I was afraid of hunting a 1 in 100 form. I did do the 3-segment Dudunsparce hunt after all, but I just never wanted to hunt it because of how terrible this shiny is. Heck, even Sinistea isn't even that great of a hunt in this game. Small Pokemon, small shiny change, all pass. But just outside of the Hoodoo Cave, there is a pretty easy spot to hunt for it. There are actually a lot of places to isolate Tandemaus in the DLC, but one of the perks of doing it here specifically is that they can't run away. And if you're smart with your movement, they really can't despawn on you either. So you can actually check every Tandemaus that spawns in with auto battles. And of course, auto battles won't kill shiny Pokemon. And there is a small hint the game gives you when your Pokemon finds a shiny. I picked up on this little hint when I was going for Feebas the normal way. You'll see here my Gallade was taking out a bunch of them, but he did what I like to call the quick return. When your Pokemon doesn't see a target close enough to it, it'll usually sit around for a bit and then go in its ball after a few seconds. But when it targets a shiny on its own, it will immediately return to you. So even though I still couldn't see this thing at all, I recognized the quick return and was able to grab the shiny. Right at the end of that sandwich too. I couldn't wait. I checked for this right away, and unfortunately it wasn't the family of 3. But I will be doing a subathon on my Twitch a few days after this video goes out, and shiny hunting a family of 3 Tandemaus will definitely be one of those goals. After a dark sandwich that gave me no shinies, I take a detour before sandwich 59. I transferred a shiny Golduck I had from PLA so I could give it Taunt and the ability Damp for the coughing hunt. When I found the coughing was when somebody reminded me of neutralizing gas. This one didn't actually have it, but I didn't want to risk it anyway, so I shoved it in a quick ball. The next sandwich, I made a bit of a mistake though. It was a flying type sandwich for number 60, but shortly after making it, it turned nighttime. Turns out the only DLC flying types I need now are daytime exclusives. So I ended up back in Paldea for the rest of the sandwich. Fun fact, there's quite a time difference between the regions. Pretty neat. But just as the sandwich ended, this happened. Such a funny moment. That's a shiny Shuppet. This moment did indeed make me feel like a wide Rowlet. My chat made me order cookies, and while I was eating one, I went for another flying type sandwich. Unfortunately, getting nothing. And we'd hit a cold streak, getting nothing on the next fighting type sandwich either. But sandwich 63, a grass type sandwich, would give me my second Sawaddle at the bus stop reset. I found a C-Dot outbreak trying to get that on the next grass sandwich, but I'd instead find a Bellsprout. Sandwich 65, I looked for Volbeat and Illumise at nighttime. Then for a new challenger, Grubbin, or Chargebug during the daytime. Unfortunately, I didn't get either of those. Wow. I'm sorry, Mayday. I'm sorry, Mayday. Mayday's still not over it, and I would end the day by making a phone call. Bro turned off the content switch. Oh wait, let me take this thing. Yeah, I'll tell them. Okay, but that was my agent. True and real. Streamer luck right now. Wrapping up day 6 with the most shinies in one day so far, getting 17. So gamers, you're this far into the video, and you didn't listen to me the first time. How are you still not subscribed yet? Clearly you're liking something about the video here. Perhaps it's my dedication. I streamed 88 hours in 9 days to get this video out quickly. And between hunting for all the herba, scripting the video, recording and editing the video, this will have taken easily around 140 hours. Subscribing would be much appreciated. And once again, you can always change your mind later. On day 7, we started kicking into overdrive. Only 3 minutes in, I'd find the last shiny Jangmo-o on my dragon-type sandwich. So I went back to the apple orchard, and I actually found an apple hanging from a tree. Now looking for a second corefish, I'd do some river resetting, finding another shiny Poliwag instead. Now, gamers, do you know what sandwich we're on now? Heh boys, sandwich 69. Nice. Which Pokemon is it going to be? Oh, that's fine. Oh, okay, another one, and oh, it's even level 69, what do you mean? And with sandwich 70, I'd find my favorite ghost type. Are you, what the frick? I was coming to look for Poltergeist again, but no luck there. From here, we're kind of just going to be hunting the same Pokemon over and over again until we get the rest of what we need. Water sandwich, looking for Ducklet during the day, Corefish during the night. Grass type sandwich, going for C-Dot or Weepinbell, end up getting the final Sawaddle I needed instead. You guys see the funny number coming up here. Shiny number 69 incoming. Nice. Guess who numbers 68 and 69 are? It's Grubbin. Grubbin these nuts. The joke was not worth it. Even with an outbreak, it still took until sandwich 75 to get both of them. Ending another long hunt was the next sandwich, going flying type for Volbeat, and I would finally find it. Sandwich 77 was fairy type, using the Hoodoo Cave for Clefairy now, but no luck there. Next was a water type sandwich for Ducklet, and I would get not one but 2 ducks on the sandwich. What the duck, indeed. Seeing as it was now nighttime, I used a bug sandwich on the river, and I found this to be the best way to reset for Volbeat and Illumise. So good that this happened.
You look mad okay today.
Look mad okay today? Oh, I know what looks mad okay today. This shiny. Couple minutes left on the sandwich. Let's just get one real quick. Just get it, lol. Are you kidding? What the frick? It took 79 sandwiches, but I finally got a double shiny in Kitakami. Maybe I've been a bit spoiled by the emotional sport Dunsparce and Fluttermanes. Sandwich 80 was some really good luck. I went for a poison type sandwich this time, looking for Bellsprout or Ekans, and I was surprisingly able to get both and avoid getting another shiny Spinarak. And 81 was even more good luck, finally getting a second Mienfoo and getting not one but 2 Timbers to finish off the evolution line. Then I did a reset hunt in the north with Munchlax, Indeedee, and Greedent, but nothing wanted to shine. The next rock type sandwich would indeed rock. I was able to not only get a nose pass to finish the line with, but I also finally got a shiny Sudowoodo. For some reason, finding a shiny Sudowoodo took me like 3,000 or more encounters or something. I was almost convinced this thing was shiny locked in my game, because a hunt going that long is pretty rare. And I would finish the day with a ghost type sandwich looking for Litwick or Poltergeist, but once again, feeling nothing but pain with both of those evolution lines. But this was a rather good day. 22 shinies in total. For day 8, I knew if I powered through the sandwiches today that it could be the last day. So that's what I did. Sandwich 85, normal sandwich, snagging an A-palm, which finishes one of every version exclusive in the DLC. I also started doing a Munchlax outbreak, and after about 40 KOs, the shiny decided to show up early. Right next to that outbreak, we can make a water-type sandwich and get only Lotad spawns. Slightly better than the mountain and much faster to check, which made the difference, getting me 2 shiny Lotads. For 87, we went back to Volbeat and Illumise resets, though I was still on Violet, so I found another shiny Volbeat, and it turned daytime, so I had to look for something else. And then, another yawn was acceptable. Wow. Another Yanma is acceptable. And we are completely running out of things to hunt now. I made a fairy-type sandwich for Cleffa, finally getting a shiny in the Hoodooed Cave. Then we yet again try to reclaim Litwick to no avail. Still on that ghost sandwich, I was heading to the forest to look for another Phantom or Trevenant, and we ended up getting my favorite ghost type. I'm just nerd-necking. Oh my god, oh my god. Then I made another poison-type sandwich for the Mossfell Confluence, and we found my favorite poison type. Didn't want to shine on any of those like 5 sandwiches earlier, huh? I would also find an actual poison type, a shiny Arbok. Sandwich 91, back to Volbeat and Illumise. And I still didn't switch over to Scarlet, so I got yet another shiny Volbeat. I'd finally switch over to Scarlet for Sandwich 92, and in my search for the final Grubbin, I'd finally end up finding an extra shiny Spinnerack. The amount of sandwiches I dodged it on though was kinda crazy. I found another Grubbin outbreak to do, so we basically started hopping between that during the day and the Volbeat and Illumise hunt during the nighttime. Sandwich 93, I'd find nothing. Sandwich 94, we would find the final Grubbin and get pretty lucky with resetting for an Illumise outbreak. But it wasn't nighttime just yet, so I hunted Surskit until the next sandwich. And even with me moving over to Scarlet and getting the Illumise outbreak to maximize my chances of seeing them instead of Volbeats, I'll show you how feral I can be. That's literally what she said. Are you kidding me? Yeah, I got another shiny Volbeat. Thankfully though, I would finally find the shiny Illumise on this sandwich as well. Wouldn't you know it, there was also a Litwick outbreak on the map at the same time. But of course, the first thing that wanted to be shiny was a Duskull. But at the very end of the sandwich, Litwick finally decided to shine once again. And I may or may not have broken a rule here to save this time. It was the end of the sandwich, and I wanted it in the Premier Ball. And good thing I did, because the first ball didn't work, and it immediately woke up and used Memento. Seeing as there wasn't much else to do, I just stayed here for the next sandwich as well, this time finding the shiny about halfway through it. But I wasn't going to save this time. Whatever happens, happens, am I right? And I know what you're thinking, you can get hacked surprise trades for more Master Balls. But this is the actual Master Ball for this save file. And don't support those dumb surprise trade bots, they're more harm than good. Sandwich 98. The list of Pokemon I needed was minuscule at this point. I did a fairy-type sandwich, getting a Cleffa rather quickly in the cave. But sadly, that'd be it on that one. If you've been paying real close attention, you'd know there's only 2 new DLC evolution lines that I haven't gotten a Pokemon from yet. That'd be Basculin and Poltergeist. With 2 sandwiches to go, I thought, how amazing would it be to end this video with a shiny Poltergeist? And as it turns out, the game agreed with me. First try? Excuse me? Not only did I get a first try Poltergeist outbreak, but this outbreak is actually exclusively Artisan Poltergeist. Pokemon with different spawnable forms in the wild will now properly have the different forms of outbreaks. So your Tatsugiri outbreaks will actually be the right form of Tatsugiri now, and this also notably means that you can have authentic Sinistea and Artisan Poltergeist outbreaks. Theoretically, this would also allow a family of 3 outbreak for Mousehold and a 3-segment Dudunsparce outbreak. However, it doesn't seem like that's actually the case. Mousehold just doesn't spawn in the wild, and for Dunsparce, they specifically coded 3 segments to not spawn in the wild at all, meaning a 3-segment outbreak shouldn't happen. And assuming this Cerebi page is in fact correct, there's only 1 outbreak spawn table for it, where there are actually 2 spawn tables for Sinistea and Poltergeist. But between getting this outbreak to spawn first try, and it being an Artisan form outbreak, I of course had to do this for the rest of the sandwiches. With Sandwich 99, I cleared the outbreak, but no shinies. And with Sandwich 100, I found nothing. Not a single shiny Poltergeist or a single random shiny. Well, that's a bit anticlimactic. I guess that means the video's over. So I'll catch you guys next. Psych, it's overtime. Sandwich number 101. I would finally find a shiny. Oh my god, what the fuck? But don't worry, it was only a matter of time. That's it. Yes! Yes! Bro, that is not possible. That is not possible to tell from far away. And with that, we successfully completed 101 sandwiches in the Scarlet and Violet DLC. But as I was writing the script here, I went double overtime. I made sure to keep the outbreak saved by closing the game and making sure it stayed on that day. And with sandwich number 102, I found a second shiny artisan poltergeist, and it killed itself. But hey, only the 100 sandwiches were hardcore, so I saved on this one. Lost out on the rest of the sandwich, but worth it IMO. And now being firmly out of Herba Mystica, this adventure comes to a close. So partially thanks to the increased difficulty of these shiny hunts combined with the best strategies not quite being known yet, seeing as I started this as soon as possible, we only ended up getting 103 shinies in 102 sandwiches. Far worse than last time, and if we consider the random unboosted shinies, it was less than a 1-to-1 ratio, and we never got really lucky on any of the sandwiches. The best sandwiches were 3 shinies on 1 sandwich, so that's a bit of a yikes. But we also have to consider I was being more selective with what I was hunting. I had most of the Pokemon from the base game already, and I used 15 sandwiches or so going for Feebas and Poltergeist, hunts similar to Zorua, Ditto, and Sinistea, which I really only did like 2 sandwiches for last time. So if we removed those from the equation, things probably would have been a little bit better. So all in all, it wasn't that terrible. But now it's time for the mark check, and I did get pretty unlucky on those. Mark checking 102 shiny Pokemon. We have Ryder, the Chingling, who is marked. Let's go. The Duskmark, Spinarak, who is marked. Rare Mark, Uncommon, EP, Sociable. Where are the marks, dude? My god. Hey guys, we've got my cargo D's. Who's marked? Let's go. The Sociable mark. Alright, we'll take it. LJ, the Lotad, who is marked. LJ's marked. With the Sleepy mark, the EP, we have Lil Knight Fury, who is marked. Dawn Rare EP. Sociable. We have Sorry May, the Cutie Fly, who is marked. Ain't no way. Mayday has left this plane of existence. Oh my god. Sociable. God, this cutie fly is just exists to spite you. We have Fire is Rank. Fire is Rank. Is marked. Lunchtime. Peckish. We have Fuchsia, who is not exactly Fuchsia, who is marked. EP. Sociable. Midnight Ninja, who is a midnight marker. Give us the EP. Excited. Alright. Alright. The Myth, the Geodude, the Rock, is marked. We want EP. Because it's asleep. It's asleep. Yelp. Leave us a review on Yelp. Because it's marked. EP! Let's go! 5-star review. Hoot Hoot. Do we have a sleepy? We might have a sleepy Hoot Hoot. Is it EP? It's tearied. It's teary-eyed. Well, this Tandemaus was not a family of 3, but it is marked. Let's go. Rare mark, 100%. Joyful. Okay. So Waddle number 2 is marked. The Radiant. We're getting a nice mix of marks here. Hey guys, this was on sandwich 69. It's marked. It's marked. Slump mark. Why are you slumped? Why are you worn out? Ayo. Slugma. Level 69. On sandwich 69. It's marked. Yes. Ferocious rampaging. Oh. We like it rough, huh? We've got Volibee. Well, at least I don't have to catch another one, right? Lunchtime. Duck moment. What the duck? What the duck? The duck is marked. Peckish. Peckish duo. They were just looking for food. That's why I couldn't find them for so long, right? Surely. Ducklet. Another duck. Mark streak. Alright, we'd like to see that. We like to see that. Is that a 3 peckish mark streak? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? No way. No way. Yo. 3 peckish in a row. They were just busy eating. They were just busy being burbs and eating. We got Volbeat number 2. Is marked. 4 out of 5. That's where we're at. EP. We have Ekans. Ekans is marked. Alright. Rare or EP? I think we're a little too biased toward these marks. The Humble. We gotta change this. What should we do? Bomb Bomb or Mom Bomb? Or Bomb Mom? I think, well, we'll do Bomb Bomb. Bomb Bomb is marked. Let's go. The rare marked. Yes. Yes. Bomb Bomb. Bomb Bomb. That's pretty bomb. That's pretty bomb. Volbeat number 3. Marked. EP, 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 EP. Angie. Grr. And I size checked everything. We got a few that were almost max or minimum size, but still, I have not found a maximum or minimum size shiny. And unfortunately, my second Poltergeist also wasn't marked. My Scarlet save file had 2 marks out of 26 Pokemon, and my Violet save file had 21 out of the rest of the 77. Less marks than you would expect, but at least some of the more elusive shinies like Vullaby and Ducklet had marks. And considering how long I had to wait to get the shiny Sudowoodo, I'm quite happy with the mark that it had. But that'll be about it for this video. Once again, make sure to give it a like and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Doesn't take that long to do, and it's going to help me out a ton. We're almost at 50,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for all of the support over this year. It's the support from you guys that keeps me able to make this content. And make sure to follow the Twitch. Again, there's the subathon that will probably have several videos filmed during it. And you can get yourself a shiny or a Pokemon from a challenge run named after you. And perhaps I'll see you before the end of this year with 100 sandwiches in the next DLC.